Welcome back. So, the mail seems to be catching up. I had about 6 packages, if I remember correctly, today. And no, I did not order or buy 6 things last week, and they're all showing up at the same time. These are all packages that have been from December, early December, as the case of these books, all the way through last week. So, the mail's starting to trickle in. They're starting to actually get things out of the distribution centers and delivered to their destinations. So this book you've seen before. This is a 1954 Cincinnatian, so University of Cincinnati, and this obviously is part of my collection because of that guy right up there. So this is Sandy Koufax on the 1954 University of Cincinnati baseball team. But also, if you flip through, you'll find Koufax on the basketball team as well. So you got basketball and baseball. Nice little team photos in this one. What I didn't have, which is kind of interesting, is the 55 Cincinnatian. And this one has Koufax with his fraternity up here, and really not much else. Because by the time this book was released, the time their baseball season began, he was already drafted by the Dodgers. So he wasn't really eligible to participate at that point. So another copy of this book. This is a new edition. So unless I can find a high school yearbook of Koufax for really cheap, pretty much done with him. That part of the collection is at least complete. Now we're going to go into, this is not a purchase, but just for reference. And we'll use these as a little base here. So you've seen me show this set before. I've gotten 2 sets. This one I've kept sealed. The other one I've put in a binder. This was released in 2003 of Jewish Major Leaguers. There's a 142 card set. And I finally, because someone accepted an offer, picked up one of the supplemental sets. This is a 50 card set put out in 2009. So if you look at the back, you can just see some of the players that have been added to the roster, if you will. But these are usually, $30, $40, I've seen $50 and up on them just for this 50 card set. Finally had someone willing to sell it for $15. And so I was finally able to add that. There are other update little sets that have been put out. I at least got one of them, and I'm just going to play the same game I have with both of these, and it's just be patient, wait for the price to be reasonable on some of them. Just like these original sets, I've seen crazy prices of $100 being asked and sometimes being paid. Or you can wait it out, pay $30, $40 for a sealed set. So the update set was the new one that I added. All right, now we're going to jump around a little bit because I got some really interesting things. We're going to jump right in and go with an auto. So, and this is an interesting one. Very, very clean auto. I like the fact that it is dated for 1952. This is Al Schacht, the original Clown Prince of Baseball. And obviously PSA DNA authentic. Supposedly from the Sigurd Berg collection. I assume that's a collection that was sold quite some time ago. But Schacht is an interesting character, to say the least. Did play a few years in the majors, played a lot of years in the minors. Was actually played in Reading, Pennsylvania with Mo Berg back in the back in the mid 20s, and they got no one another there. But Shaq knew that his skills were limited on the field, so he started coaching and eventually basically became an entertainer. And we go to all the minor league parks, just like you watched the movie Bull Durham. It was the newer Clown Prince of Baseball there. Al Schacht was the original. And that was essentially the same thing of what Shaq did was portrayed in that movie. So, really nice auto there for the Jewish player collection. Now I'm going to jump to a not baseball product, not baseball player. A rarity on this channel, but I had the opportunity to buy this for what I thought it was a reasonable price, which I could be completely off base because I'm not a football guy. This is a 1976 Crane discs, so Crane potato chips. Walter Payton rookie. So it was one of those things that happened to me on Facebook. It was a deal or no deal. I just threw an offer out there. I looked at kind of what the high and low end comps were. Looking at going, if I can be at the bottom, the very bottom, I think I'll be okay. Because it is an interesting piece, and it is a decent grade. Not perfect, obviously, but it's still a PSA 8. It's a more modern holder, and it's a Hall of Fame player and a rookie. So, for a little bit of money, I figured I'd pick this up, and yes, I'll be looking to sell that particular item. And that's the only item that I received as of late that I will be selling. Next up, we have another T206 Chief Myers. He was a catcher for the New York Giants. If I remember correctly, and Dave Blue Jacket 66 probably correct me if I'm wrong on this, I believe he was the personal catcher, or that I should say that Christy Mathewson insisted that Myers be behind the plate when he pitched. This is a PSA 1 older slab. There is paper loss on the card. I'm sure you can see it at this point, but there is a fairly significant chunk here. But it's interesting because it's right in line with the collar, so from a distance it presents a heck of a lot better than the one. It presents very well. It is a polar bear back, which is a little rarer. That's the portrait. This is the lesser common version of this particular player in the set. So all these factors kind of play in: paper loss, but also being a rare card, being $50 in on a slab T206 is pretty good, in my opinion. And this is actually, you wouldn't necessarily expect it, but Myers and a few other players, there's not a whole lot, the pre-war Native American players I've been kind of putting aside. Chief Myers, Chief Bender when I can find him for a reasonable price, and a few other guys. Jim Thorpe's out of my price range, so that's not happening. But add that to the ancillary PC. Let's put it that way. And two more items. So not a whole lot of items, but interesting nevertheless. Did find a raw Moberg rookie card. And this is Gaudy, not Worldwide Gum. Decent condition, has the bleed through, which is common with these cards. I took a chance. I already popped it out. It came in this one touch. Popped it out, took a look at it. It looks and feels good to me. So this is going to basically be added to the whole stack of cards I got to send off to for slabbing. But if I can find these at a reasonable price, because the Berg cards, Berg rookies, have just shot up to insane prices as well. It's just like every other vintage and modern piece of cardboard on the market. It's just gone through the roof. So I have a couple of these already. I'm hoping to get a halfway decent grade on it. It's obviously by no means perfect, but it is in decent shape. So even if I get a 2 or a 3, I'll be happy. And I think there's an outside chance of that. Alright, final card. And this is added to one of the primary PCs. 1959 Topps, Sandy Koufax, Auto. So, interesting, he signed basically right above the signatures, the facsimile signature already on the card. Not the clearest auto in the world, but it is on card. The card itself is in pretty decent shape. The back of the case is a hot mess. This slab has seen some rough times. But trying to find a 1950s Koufax card with an auto on it, and again, my preference on the vintage cards is to have an autograph in pen, because it's more than likely that it is a period autograph. Not guarantee, but it's more than likely, instead of a Sharpie. So I was very happy to have this. This is one of those things that came up on eBay with a fairly reasonable buy it now, but they did have the or best offer option. And so I made an offer. And I did note the condition of the case. It's going to have to be resubmitted somewhere. Not to SGC because they don't do autos anymore. But I'll send it off somewhere to get slabbed again, just so it doesn't look like crud. And really just want to present this card in a lot better way than it is right now. So we started the video with a little bit of Koufax. We end it with a little bit of Koufax. And in the middle, I think there's some pretty solid additions, including one that is not seen on this channel often, and that is non-baseball stuff. But it is Walter Payton, and I'm sure you'll forgive me for showing some sweetness on the channel every now and again. But that's what I got for you this time around. Hopefully have a few more of these kind of random videos here and there, because with the inconsistency of mail, it's hard to really have videos of a particular theme or player. I've managed to do that a little bit, but that took a lot of time and a lot of patience, and sometimes those just run out. But sometimes these hodgepodge videos are just as fun, and you can kind of see a variety of different vintage and kind of modern things as well. So that's what I got for you this time around. Until next time, please remember to collect what you enjoy, enjoy what you collect, and don't let anybody, especially the market or YouTuber, dictate that to you. And most importantly, have fun. Have fun by being active in this community. So find your way of participating, whether it's making videos, watching and commenting, going to live streams or group chats, going to your LCS or local card show, or simply talking about the hobby with family and friends. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. The more you'll learn, the more your peace will grow, the more people you'll meet, and the more fantastic friendships you'll form. So I thank you very much for joining me. Hope to see you again. Have a good one, and bye for now.